They very soon came upon a griffin, lying fast asleep in the sun.
"Up, lazy thing,"
said the queen,
"and take this young lady to see the mock turtle and to hear his history. I must go back and see after some executions I've ordered."
And she walked off, leaving Alice alone with the griffin. Alice did not quite like the look of the creature, but on the whole she thought it would be quite as safe to stay with it as to go after the savage queen. And so she waited. The griffin sat up and rubbed its eyes, watching the queen till she was out of sight. Then it chuckled.
"Oi, what fun!"
said the griffin, half to itself, half to Alice.
"What is the fun?"
said Alice.
"Why, she,"
said the griffin.
"It's all her fancy that. They never executes nobody, you know. Come on."
"Everybody says come on here,"
thought Alice as she went slowly after it.
"I never was so ordered about in all my life, never."
They had not gone far before they saw the mock turtle in the distance, sitting sad and lonely on a little ledge of a rock. And as they came nearer, Alice could hear him sighing as if his heart would break. She pitied him deeply.
"Oh, what is his sorrow?"
she asked the griffin, and the griffin answered very nearly in the same words as before.
"It's all his fancy that. He hasn't got no sorrow, you know. Come on."
So they went up to the mock turtle, who looked at them with large eyes full of tears, but said nothing.
"Oi, this here young lady,"
said the griffin.
"She wants to know 4 years' history, she do."
"I'll tell her,"
said the mock turtle in a deep, hollow tone.
"Sit down, both of you, and don't speak a word till I've finished."
So they sat down, and nobody spoke for some minutes. Alice thought to herself,
"I don't see how it can ever finish if he doesn't begin."
But she waited patiently.
"Once,"
said the mock turtle at long last, with a deep sigh,
"I was a real turtle."
These words were followed by a very long silence, broken only by an occasional exclamation of "Hark!" from the griffin, and the constant, heavy sobbing of the mock turtle. Alice was very nearly getting up and saying,
"Thank you, sir, for your interesting story."
But she could not help thinking there must be more to come, so she sat still and said nothing.
"When we were little,"
the mock turtle went on at last, more calmly though still sobbing a little now and then,
"we went to school on the sea. The master was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise."
"Why did you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one?" Alice asked.
"We called him Tortoise because he taught us,"
said the mock turtle angrily.
"Really, you're very dull."
"You ought to be ashamed for asking yourself such a simple question,"
added the griffin. And then they both sat silent and looked at poor Alice, who felt ready to sink into the earth. At last the griffin said to the mock turtle,
"Drive on, old fella. Don't be all day about it."
And he went on in these words.
"Yes, we went to school in the sea, though you mayn't believe it."
"I never said I didn't,"
interrupted Alice.
"You did,"
said the mock turtle.
"Hold your tongue,"
added the griffin before Alice could speak again. The mock turtle went on.
"We have the best educations. In fact, we went to school every day."
"I've been to the day school too," said Alice. "You needn't be so proud as all that."
"With extras?"
asked the mock turtle a little anxiously.
"Yes,"
said Alice.
"we learned French and music."
And washing?
said the Mock Turtle.
Certainly not,
Said Alice indignantly.
Ah, then yours wasn't a really good school.
Said the Mock Turtle in a tone of great relief.
Now, at ours, they had at the end of the bill French music and washing extra.
You couldn't have wanted it much,
Said Alice.
living at the bottom of the sea.
I couldn't afford to learn it.
Said the Mock Turtle with a sigh.
I only took the regular course.
What was that?
Inquired Alice.
Reeling and writhing, of course, to begin with.
The Mock Turtle replied.
And then the different branches of arithmetic. Ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision.
I've never heard of uglification.
Alice ventured to say.
What is it?
The Griffin lifted up both of its paws in surprise.
What? Never heard of uglifying?
It exclaimed.
You know what to beautify is, I suppose.
Yes.
Said Alice doubtfully.
It means to, make anything prettier.
Well then,
The Griffin went on.
if you don't know what to uglify is, you are a simpleton.
Alice did not feel encouraged to ask any more questions about it, so she turned to the Mock Turtle and said.
What else had you to learn?
Well, there was mystery.
The Mock Turtle replied, counting off the subjects on his flappers.
Mystery, ancient and modern, with seography, then drawing. The drawing master was an old Carroll and used to come once a week. He taught us drawing, stretching, and fainting in coils.
What was that like?
Said Alice.
Well, I can't show it to you myself.
The Mock Turtle said.
I'm too stiff, and the Griffin never learnt it.
Hadn't the time.
Said the Griffin.
I went to the classics masters, though. He was an old crab, he was.
I never went to him.
The Mock Turtle said with a sigh.
He taught laughing and grief, they used to say.
So he did,
Said the Griffin, sighing in his turn, and both creatures hid their faces in their paws.
And how many hours a day did you do lessons?
Said Alice in a hurry to change the subject.
10 hours the first day,
Said the Mock Turtle.
9 the next, and so on.
What a curious plan! Exclaimed Alice.
Oi, that's the reason they're called lessons.
The Griffin remarked.
Because they lesson from day to day.
This was quite a new idea to Alice, and she thought it over a little before she made her next remark.
Then the 11th day must have been a holiday?
Of course it was.
Said the Mock Turtle. And how did you manage on the 12th? Alice went on eagerly.
That's enough about lessons.
The Griffin interrupted in a very decided tone.
Tell us something about the games now.
The Mock Turtle sighed deeply and drew the back of one flipper across his eye. He looked at Alice and tried to speak. Before a minute or two, sobs choked his voice.
Same as if he had a bone in his throat.
Said the Griffin, and is set to work shaking him and punching him in the back. At last, the Mock Turtle recovered his voice, and, with tears running down his cheeks, he went on again.
You may not have lived much under the sea,
I haven't.
Said Alice.
and perhaps you were never even introduced to a lobster.
Alice began to say, I once tasted, but checked herself hastily and said,
No, never.
So, you can have no idea what a delightful thing a lobster quadrille is.
No, indeed.
said Alice.
What sort of dance is it?
Why?
Said the Griffin.
You first form into a line along the seashore.
2 lines.
Cried the Mock Turtle.
Seals, turtles, salmon, and so on. Then, when you've cleared all the jellyfish out of the way,
That generally takes some time.
Interrupted the Griffin.
you advance twice.
Each with a lobster as a partner.
Cried the Griffin.
Of course.
The Mock Turtle said.
Advance twice, set the partners.
Change lobsters and retire in the same order.
Continued the Griffin.
Then, you know,
The Mock Turtle went on.
you throw the
The lobsters!
Cried the Griffin with a bound into the air.
as far out to sea as you can.
Swim after them.
Screamed the Griffin.
Turn a somersault in the sea.
Cried the Mock Turtle, capering wildly about.
Change lobsters again.
Yelled the Griffin at the top of its voice.
back to land again, and that's all the first figure,"
said the Mock Turtle, suddenly dropping his voice, and the two creatures, who had been jumping about like mad things all this time, sat down again very sadly and quietly, and looked at Alice.
It must be a very pretty dance,
said Alice timidly.
"Would you like to see a little of it?"
said the Mock Turtle.
very much indeed,
Said Alice.
"Come, let's try the first figure.
Said the Mock Turtle to the Griffin.
We can do without the lobsters, you know. Which shall sing?"
Oh, you sing.
Said the Griffin.
I've forgotten the words.
So they began solemnly dancing around and around Alice, every now and then treading on her toes when they passed too close, and waving their four paws to mark the time, while the Mock Turtle sang this very slowly and sadly.
Will you walk a little faster, said a whiting to a snail. There's a porpoise close behind us, treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Oh, will you, won't you, will you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you join the dance? You can really have no notion how delightful it will be when they take us up and throw us with the lobsters out to sea. But the snail replied too far, and gave a look askance. Said he thanked the whiting kindly, but he would not join the dance. Oh, would not, could not, would not, could not, would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not, could not join the dance. What matters it how far we go? His scaly friend replied. There is another shore, you know, upon the other side. The further off from England, the nearer it is to France. Then turn not pale, beloved snail, but come and join the dance. Join the dance. Will you, won't you, will you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you, won't you join the dance?